All right. Welcome everyone to the Kim Master Agency call. Uh, I'm super fired up today because this is quite an honor and a treat for us because Ashley Tarr, she's a great mentor and one of the leaders that when we first joined Symmetry, she was not only the top producer, but one of the fastest growing agency. And just watching her speak on the stage was very inspirational. And I was like, you know what? I want to be like her. And she is also one of the top leaders in our hierarchy as well, above Kyle and Lisa Kimbrell and under Danny Young. And yeah, I can't wait to introduce you guys to Ashley and kind of learn about her story and how she joined Symmetry and how she was able to become one of the top leaders in the whole company. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First of all, Kim Master Agency consists of Frank Brennis Agency, Stephen Brennis Agency, Landry Peterson Agency, Bo Hirschfield Agency, Kerry Aguilar Agency, and Crew Peterson Agency. There are some training calls going on a weekly basis. The one that I've been doing for a while, it's the Saturday Elite Zoom training. And surprisingly, there's more agents from outside of our agency joining now. And I mean, I want to help everyone, but also I'm focusing on our agents to learn and to be a better producer. So if you want to learn about sales skills or particular products, I highly recommend you to jump on. And usually it's about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. So that is 9 a.m. Pacific every Saturday. And there's some exciting events happening. We have Tampa Corporate Overview and Bootcamp hosted by our very own Stefan Brennis. And I want to shout out Stefan for a little bit because just he's been absolutely crushing it as a producer, and also he's building a strong team. And you don't want to miss it. So if you're in the Florida area or pretty close by, it's today between 6 to 8:30 p.m. And also there's guest speakers, Darren Stubbs and Lee and Martina Jedlicker. Very, very strong leaders as well. So make sure you plug into that if you can. And then there is a only 1:30 speaking event, which is in Burbank on April 12th. And it happened to be Amanda's birthday as well. So we're going to be celebrating that day. I know that Ashton already said that she booked a flight coming from Arizona. Agents are coming from all different states. And it's hard to have all these 130s under one boot camp. So it's very exciting. If you're close by, make sure you plug in. And the 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., this is dial team. So if you wanted to make live dials and set some appointments before the event, agents are doing that. But the actual event starts at 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And it's in the courtyard Burbank Airport. And there's a special guest. I'm not gonna say their name, but they're amazing speakers, so you don't want to miss that. And just as a quick reminder, agents who want to take their business to the next level, maybe you want to not only do mortgage protection, but you want to help clients with their retirement solutions, debt-free life, getting them out of debt. Maybe you want to do infinite banking, roll over their annuities. So you can actually become a subject matter expert in Symmetry. And one of the advanced market bootcamps you need to go is happening on May 2025 in Orlando. And this one is May 28th to the 30th. Make sure you register so that you can become a more elite level producer, not only servicing them with basic insurance, but also more of a high level insurance that's going to able to help them with their retirement and other things in their finances. And unlock your potential with Lighthouse leads. Actually, I think this is the most used digital leads for Kim Master Agency agents right now. So starting with like Jessica Jackson Cat, we have many agents who are on this Lighthouse leads, and a prime example is Stefan Brennis. Stefan Brennis, if you're on the call, if you can share with us real quick, You did, I think, over 20K last week just on lighthouse leads. Can you share that with us, Stefan?
Absolutely. Of course, I'm on the call. I wouldn't miss this for the world, Ashley.
Yeah, fired
Such an
up.
honor to have you on, Ashley. It really is so awesome. Yeah, just Lighthouse leads. They're either one of, from my experience. I can only speak from my experience. And thank you for having me on the call, Sean. Thank you for preparing this. And so good to have Ashley Tarr and our leaders on this call here. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you
Okay.
well.
I just got this mic and it's a little tricky. So I'm trying to set up a little studio here, Thank you. Yeah, Lighthouse leads are, I think it's a second from my experience. I can only speak from my experience is that they're very engaging. You either they take all information and you don't hear from them ever, or you take all information and you try to get on the phone as fast, try to get on the phone with them as fast as possible. So I think, as soon as you're exchanging information, try to get them on the phone. Like try to be like, hey, look, it's quicker if I just need maybe 2 minutes of your concentrated effort instead of going back and forth by text. Let me just call you real quick. I have an opening now, and then get their information, build up rapport, and then set up an appointment the same day.
Mm,
Okay. You want to establish credibility right away. Here's my license. Here's my this. Here's my this. And then when you're talking to them, go, hey, why is this important for you now? Why are you looking for this now? Okay. Oh, something happened to you recently, and just build that credibility, establish that right away, and then tell them what's going to happen next. Okay, great. I do this full time. I do this. I shop around for you and get you the best plan. Okay, but just tell me, have them tell you why they want it, and then ask them if there's anyone else involved. If their husband knows about it, hey, is your husband aware, or is your spouse aware that you're looking into something like this, or you know, how did this come about? And when you ask them that, they're like, well, I just like one of my friends passed away and didn't have it, and once they start talking, good, you're building that rapport. And they go, perfect, great. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and do, obviously I follow the script and I go, I do have some time. I may have some availability later on today and book it the same day.
mm.
And let them know it's going to be on video and establish that credibility right away. Right. And then let them know you work with all the companies and you're going to find the best plan possible because that's what you do.
Yeah,
So that's
that's all.
that's one pro tip. And then get the video, send them while you're talking to them, send them your credentials. So here's my here's who I am, here's the company that I work with. Go and look me up. So I'm prepping them to take the
Mm.
application and go, look, if you're gonna pick the plan you like, you're gonna select. If you don't see the plan there, no problem. Okay, if it doesn't work, no problem. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if you can get approved. So we're gonna take an application. Okay. I tell them
Yeah,
that right away.
that's awesome. Yeah, and
Yeah.
just saying that up front, they don't feel like later they're like, oh, we need to fill out an application. This kind of like answer, right? They're gonna be like, oh, yeah, he did tell me that we're gonna do an app, right? So you already assume that that's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no surprises. There's no surprises. You tell them who you are, what you
Mm.
do. I have them look me up. Hey, make sure you look me up. Here's who I am. These are all the companies I work with. And then you're going to pick the plan that you're going to like that fits your budget. And we're going to take an application and see if you get approved. Okay. I'll call you back at this time.
That's awesome, Stefan. And yeah, share with us real quick, man. 20,000 plus in a week. Like that's an amazing week, man. So what kind of lead was it and how were you able to help the clients?
Well, you lighthouse lead. Again, either they give you all information and disappear, all right, and you don't hear from them, or try to get them, take the information and try to get them on the phone. Try to intercept the text message and get them on the phone.
Mm.
Once you do that, then you're off to the races, really. So a lot of my big deals are from Lighthouse. I did a guy that paid in full. I did a SBLI term for about, I think it was like, I don't know, $400, right? And he paid in full.
Wow.
So
The annual payment?
annual payment, yeah, paid in full. I literally got paid like $5,000. It was like 300 some dollars. I posted it. And then this is Monday night on 5,000. Wednesday morning, I got a deposit for 5,000 some dollars. Like, cool.
Yeah,
That's
that's amazing.
100 times ROI. I invested 49. I got
Yeah.
100 times ROI.
Wow. That's incredible, man. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Stefan.
Yeah,
Keep killing it, brother.
awesome.
All right. And just as a reminder, some of the agents are asking, how do you go to the training platform in hq.quility.com, which if any agents on here are licensed and contracted with Symmetry, you should have access to this website. And under Quility University tab on the left, there's something called the LMS. So this is the learning center that you can go to, and it's quite amazing. If you wanted to learn about IULs or final expense or debt-free life, infinite banking, annuities, it's all there. You can be certified. And this amazing company offers all that for free so that you can actually learn it. We want to make sure that our agents who are representing our company know their stuff, right? We don't want to just have agents don't know much and they're just selling whatever, you know. So make sure that you are working on your craft every day, and this is the perfect way to do that. All right. Just a quick reminder. And this trip, so Stefan, you're on one of the top 10 people on this thing. There's a lot of people who are trying to go for this because it's like a bucket trip. Bucket list trip, and Iceland is going to be amazing. So this is a miracle, and you need to be in the top 30 to qualify. And the qualification ends August 31st of this year.
Yeah,
And we have
man.
Bank
I got Bo
Canada.
on it
Yeah.
too. I got Bo. Me and Bo are hopefully we'll see each
Bo's
other.
number two. Bo's number two right now on the miracle one. Bo. Yeah, we're in the top 25. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then the Banff Canada, this is Mutual of Omaha. They said it's one of the most beautiful places. So make sure you can check these out. Everything that you're seeing right now is available on HQ under the contest. And then we have Ireland by SBLI, also 60,000 in net place premium. Or if you're a top 10 builder, you need to do 60,000 in commission paid. We have Croatia by American Amicable. You need to be in the top 10 personal producers, doing minimum of 60,000 net place premium. And top 10 builders, you need to have 60,000 paid commission in your bank account. Ends this year. And Hawaii, legal in general, quickly becoming one of our most sold term policies for Kim Master Agency right now. What I like about it is that their instant decision price is one of the most competitive in the United States, and it's instant decision and living benefits. Make sure you check that out. 50,000 in production as a producer or 50,000 in commission as a builder. And we also have about 4 agents currently on track to win this to Dublin, Ireland. This is by United Home Life. This is to December 31st, 2025, and you need to do 60,000 in annual premium until the end of the year, which to me still is one of the easier one to win because there's no limit of top 10, top 30 people that can win this. All right. And then as a builder, you need to do minimum of 60,000 annual premium in paid commission. So you need to get paid 60,000 to win that trip. And this is just extended support hours for the corporate, which I love, right? So Monday through Friday, it's 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern. And then Saturdays and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. And you can click the ticket, submit a ticket through support on HQ, and then you can choose a different department of what question yours actually falls under. And you can also have a chat with us, and you can have a live chat with the agents as well. And let's go through some of the leaderboards. And first, newly onboarded agents of the week. 5 at the 5th spot, we have Stefan Brennis Agency, Aletha Boyce, hopefully said it right, senior, direct to Stefan Brennis. We have Carrie Aguilar Agency, Victor Carreon, direct to Rosario Texel. Number 3, we have Hirschfield Agency, Demi Deloach, hope we said it right, direct to Bo Hirschfield. And we have Landry Peterson Agency, Lindsay Cochran, direct to Ashton Hart, and Sean Lewis, direct to Ashton Hart. You go, Ashton. Both are on your team. Congrats. And Frank Brennis Agency with 2 recruits, Serena Hoffman, direct to Jessica Jackson, and Scotty Dean Price, direct to TJ Lee. Great to see you guys join our team. Welcome. And first time writers of the week, we have Gina Bullard, in the Kim Agency Bay Shop. We have Joshua Roberts in the Crew Peterson Agency and Stacy Amernick in the Stephen Brennis Agency. Congratulations on your first applications, everyone. And top 5 agents of the day. So March 24th, we had the new agent, Gina Bullard, number 5, Tanner Redding, number 4, Magnus Echendu, number 3, Stephen Brennis, number 2, and myself and Amanda, 5,144. I know. An old client of mine wanted to upgrade their policy, so I said, say less, I will help you out. All right. And then March 25th, we had Ryan Hilliard, number 4, Tanner Redding, number 3, number 2 is Kanyon Ojo, and we have Gina Bullard, the new agent, at number 1 with 1440. Congratulations. And March 26th, we have number 5, team leader Kat Kuzik, number 4, Pauline Cruz, number 3, Kurt Stiffel, number 2, Burrow Hirschfield, and number 1, Millicent Stewart with 6,198. Great job, Millicent. And March 27th, we have number 5, Jamal Davis, Bo Hirschfield, number 4, Magnus Echenda, number 3, Gerard Muhammad. Oh, great to see Gerard on the leaderboard, 2,400, and Stefan Brennis with 12,435. Stefan, is this an error or is this real? One day, 12,000? Wow. Congratulations, Stefan.
It's real, man.
Yeah, setting up the bar high. Okay. And then, again, number 1. So March 28th, we have Kat Kuzik, number 5. Number 4, Jason Powers, just became a national top producer. Number 3, we have Galeazzo Bentivoglio. Is that right? 3,200. And then Cynthia Landeros, 3,800. And Stefan Brennis, again, number 1 with 6,200 APB. And March 29th, we have Monique Riddick, Jessica Jackson at number 4, Marshall Hunt, 2,480, Stefan Brennis, 2,878, and number 1, Damian Lopez with 4,800 APB. Great job. And March 30th, so this was on a Sunday. Number 3 is Corinthia Peoples with 203. Ashton Hart, number 2, 313, and Magnus Echendu, 2,782. Congratulations, Magnus. And these are the top 10 APV producers for the week. We have Gina Bullard, 2,640, Gail Bentivoglio, 3,200, Kat Kuzik, 3,300, Kurt Stiffel, 3,500, Cynthia Landeros, 3,800, myself, 5,100, Bo Hirschfield, 5,800, Magnus Echendu, 6,700, Millicent Stewart, 7,500, and Stefan Brennis with 27,620 for the week. Mega congratulations. And top app count producers for week 4 of March. 1 app, myself, Abraham Huxford, 2 apps, Jamal Davis, 2 apps, Kanyon Ojo, 2 apps, Tanner Redding, 2 apps, Bo Hirschfield, 2 apps, and 5 app club, Kat Kuzik, 5 apps. Actually, it is a Magnus number. So Magnus Echendu, 5 apps, Millicent Stewart, 5 apps, and Stefan Brennis leading from the front with 9 applications. Congratulations. And these are the top agency builder categories. So we have team leaders, Jason Powers, Tanner Redding, and Kat Kuzik, number 1 team leader. And key leaders, we have Henry Lamb, Jessica Jackson, Rita Sarkisian, Jericho Del Rosario, and Annabelle Hazelton, number 1 key leader with 8,200 APV. And agency owner category, we have Carrie Aguilar, Crew Peterson, Bo Hirschfield, Kim Agency Bay Shop, Frank Brennis, and Stefan Brennis with 27,000 with 10 applications. Well done. And 20 APV producers top for month of March. We have only 1 day left today. So 20th, we have Isis Weaver, Kurt Stiffel, Carrie Aguilar, Joey Cook, Sean Kim, Jen Thomason, Peyton Cole, Dimitri Vincent, Ryan Allard, Magnus Echendu, top 10, Hernando Taboada, number 9, Kat Kuzik, number 8, Nora Formento, not Mendoza. Number 7 is Tanner Redding. Number 6, Jason Powers. Top 5, Millicent Stewart, 10K Club. Jessica Jackson, 10,900. Frank Brennis, 11,000. Bo Hirschfield, 37,000. And Stefan Brennis with 51,000 in APV in 1 month. Wow. Incredible. And this is just a reminder for next week's call. So Joe Martinez is a managing vice president, and he is the newest 130 direct to Symmetry. So that is the top contract that he hit just last month, and really nice guy. He was actually one of our guest speakers during the Christmas party, remember? Yeah, and actually he lives in I think Bullhead or something. Yeah, Bullhead. He's only about an hour away. But you're gonna learn so much from him. He was managing restaurants and he was always feeling like he was broke, and he got into this business and was able to accomplish this. So don't miss out next week. And now, my favorite part of the call is our special guest section. And Ashley Tarr, I just wanted to just share with you what her career achievements have been so far. She started in February of 2014 with Symmetry, and she was a #1 producer in 2014, just doing it for 11 months. #1 in the whole Symmetry company wide. And she was the 16th agency owner in Symmetry. And now there's what, 200, 300 agency owners? And #1 producer in 2015. So 2 years in a row, #1. And 4 Renali Award winner, top female producer in the whole company. Held spot for most 10,000 weeks for 4 years. 10K club, most weeks in 4 years. For 4 years. And she was a Blue Jacket winner, which is one of the most prestigious awards in Symmetry, and first woman elected to advisory board member, and she's now a legacy advisory board member. And last year, her entire master agency did almost $24 million in business. Wow. Hey, I know, but I know that these don't define the person, but I just wanted to share that with you so you know how impactful Ashley has been in this company. And it's just such an honor. And we had an amazing opportunity to spend some time with Ashley in Mexico, in Tamarindo, Mexico. And she's just so full of wisdom. And so we're so grateful to have her on the call. So Ashley, are you here on the call?
I am here. I am here. We can
Awesome.
get my big face off the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. There we go. This one moves. How are you guys? Good to be on with you, Amanda. Good to see you.
So good to see you too, Ashley.
Yeah, we're just so excited. And it's rare to have you on the calls, right? Very special person, and just wanted you to share with them how it has been in terms of like maybe before Symmetry, how Symmetry has impacted your life. And we have a lot of new agents on the call. So
Yeah.
if you can share whatever that will help them with their business, would be great.
This is one of those questions that like you never get tired of answering in one way, and you probably also never answer it the same way. Because it's such a rich experience being a part of this organization. First off, I want to say to all the leaders of this agency, you guys are killing it. Sean, I'm really proud of the team that you and Amanda are heading up so well with so much wisdom. I don't know, did I freeze for a second?
Yeah,
Might have totally gone away. I was talking about you, Sean and Amanda, and just how much gratitude I have for you, how proud I am of this really entire organization. Frank Brenez, Brittany Brenez, I know are a big part of that. Stefan obviously needed to brag on the leaderboards today. So cool to see the way that you guys are leading from the front, and just the culture of recognition. Bo Hirschfield, good to see you on. I have to stop naming names because I don't
Yeah.
get to hang out with you guys too much, and so many of you have really impacted my greater organization by the excellence that you've chosen to approach this business with. And some of you I've only, really seen names on leaderboards over and over. I've never had the chance to meet you personally, and I hope that shifts soon. But one thing that just know does not go missed by myself as well as other leaders in the organization that are not even a part of this hierarchy. Anytime someone comes in and decides to play all out, it changes things. And that's a really cool opportunity that each one of us has to make an impact in our world, regardless of how large or small that world is. I'm a big fan of you choosing to leverage this business for what your life is meant to be about. I'm not going to say for what you want out of it, because I think that's backwards. Unless you plan to approach your entire life selfishly and think that's going to work out well for you. The goal is not to get what you want out of it, but it is to use this playing field, which is an incredible one, to contribute and fine tune, if you will, your purpose in the world. And so that's never going to look like mediocrity if you're doing it right. It's never going to look like phoning it in. It's never going to look like half-heartedness, but it might look part-time. Like there's no one that's going to tell you what this has to shape up like for you, and even what your results have to be. But at the end of the day, you have to know that you're in alignment at a soul level. You're in alignment with the things that really matter to you. And then from that place, you better go all in. You only get one life. You got one shot. If you're not actually going all in, then what the heck are you doing? Like, do you think that you just keep getting tomorrow? Like, at some point we got to wake up and realize that life is the biggest gift we've got. And it's not for us to receive from. It really is for us to actually contribute to this world. And the word impact gets thrown around, and I love it because it matters. It should matter. But what we can't do is lose the fire of what that word means. And one thing, Sean and Amanda and the rest of you leaders, I won't name any more names, that I have so appreciated is that you have made an impact, and it's not just been on leaderboards. You guys spend an hour with Sean and Amanda, and you're going to understand that this company is about character, and it's about truth, and it's about staying true to whatever your purpose is and whatever your character is and whatever your calling is, through the ups and downs and ins and outs and really weird places sometimes you end up in this business as a leader, and you've got to make calls. And if you don't know what that narrow is for you, if you don't know what that purpose is for you, it's going to be really challenging. And one thing that is the coolest to me about a young couple as dynamic as Sean and Amanda is they know the answers to that question. Like, they know who they are, and they stay in alignment with that. And they also understand that they should always be developing that. Like, I just think it's the coolest thing. And that's going to be true on down throughout the leadership in your hierarchy. From my experience with Frank, with Stefan, with Bo, with Carrie Aguilar. So fun to see her picture in here. Rita Sarkisian. Like, these people are who they are, warts and all, right? We all have them. But being
You don't have your
true
phone
to who
here.
you are
Let me open
is
it from the top.
such. Someone else is chipping
Sorry.
in.
Yeah.
Being true to who you are is such a gift to the world around you. And I appreciate the elevation that you guys have brought to the Tarr agency as a whole, also to Symmetry as a whole, because that's really how all of us keep growing, is that we need these new people to be coming in and lifting our gaze again and making us sharp again and making us hungry again and inspiring us again and proving what's possible again. And for me, it was a fun thing to be a part of that back in 2014.
Okay.
Ashley's muted.
Host muted everybody. So I got banned too. Well, we will, now I'm a co-host. Dope. All right. Jumping right back in. Let's see. Where do I want to go? My story, guys, 2014, I started, I was the number one producer that year. You should know I had started at a practice company, so was not totally fresh, but was pretty fresh. And I was at a point in my life where I think a lot of things were lining up for me in regards to my understanding of who I really was, my lack of willingness to be a puppet on a string anymore, and really break some patterns that needed to go from childhood and then from rough experiences as a young adult with different positions that I had had. And I was very aware of who I was and where I was. And I was also very aware of who I was not and was not yet. And I think that's really key to the kind of success that matters. It's going to be sustainable success. I did not build right away. People ask me all the time, like, well, do you regret that? Because, like, what if you had? It took me almost 3 years to start building here. And no, I don't regret it. Because I knew where I was and I knew where I wasn't. Now, if you are ready to build, if you are, I would say ready means whole. You're never going to be ready to build in regards to putting the work in, all right? Any more than you're going to be ready to go out and have a 20K week. You work for that stuff. You earn that stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about there were some things that I knew in my own soul I had to keep lining up, and I had to figure out before I tried to become a source for someone else. Before I needed to be on a platform being the one that's looked to for the answer, I needed some answers. And it's a personal thing. Some of you might do a job compartmentalizing life from business. I don't. To me, it's all my life. And so I was not in a position where I was willing to compromise building the blocks within my own soul back for the sake of building a business, because I saw a pattern in my life of when I step into something prematurely and I don't know who I am, I end up people pleasing. I saw that pattern. And what happens if you do that as a leader? If you step into a role, if Sean one day decides to play to the tune of the team instead of leading the team, what happens to the team over time? Do you respect him? Do you trust him if he shows up different every day? Do you respect him if he doesn't have integrity to own an opinion and to own a course of action and to follow that through, but shifts based on opinion? Is there actually any leadership that's happening, or is that more like chaos at a point? You see what I'm saying? So the question of when you start building, it is really going to be up to, have you done the work that you need to do to actually lead another human, or do you still need to lead yourself? And if you're not at a point, now I'm not, please don't hear me say you have to be doing this perfectly, because none of us would ever be there. None of us, right? Because we're always all going to have stuff. I have stuff right now in my life. That's messy. That's life. What I'm talking about is when you know that you are not capable of withstanding the pressure of any more humans than you, because quite frankly, you're not doing well under your own. That's not the time to step into a leadership role. Be wise, do some really intentional work and get there. But get there with intention so that you don't never get there. Because you can also use that as an excuse. And you can tell your mentor, well, I'm going to pull this card because Ashley said I could. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I was in therapy twice a week. I was spending 3 full days a week, like working on me intentionally. This was not a game to me because of what I said when I opened the call. Like, I've got one life. And I had just gone through a divorce, something I thought that I would never walk through. And I was not willing to personally contribute to the same failure again. I was not ready to repeat the patterns that I saw in myself, right? So if you are seeing these things in yourself, then rather than chasing the dollar, chase your character and see what happens to your bank. Like, the things run parallel. And what happens when we decide that leaderboards and money matters more than our internal work does is we gain money and we lose everything else, and then we lose money. Or maybe we keep the money, but we've lost everything that actually matters. Yeah. And so it's worth it. Leadership to me, it's a real privilege. And it requires so much of you. And I would say so much more humility than about anything else. And that's something that I got really wrong. Like the first, I would say several strides in leadership. I wasn't necessarily a prideful person, but when you are the number one, and I was getting a lot, like, I won a lot of awards, guys. Like, I kind of got tired at the banquets of standing up and going on stage. It was it was laughable to me. Leaderboards don't matter to me. So this is the context for me saying this. I'm motivated in other ways. That wasn't ever one. And so literally at these dinners, it would be like, oh my gosh, I would like to sit down and eat. Like, I don't want to have to go up on stage again. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to say, when you are in that position, things do not get easier. When you are in that position, you still have the same life, except more responsibility and everyone watching you all the time for how you handle your responsibility, not knowing that you also have a life. Because people just kind of assume the stage version, the call version, the no stress version, and have you noticed that when people are broke, they tend to think that if they had money, they would not be stressed? If you're broke, and that's, I hope not, but fix it, produce some this week, ask Stefan if you need to. But like, that's not the solution, guys. You actually find your problems will get weightier the more influence you have, the more income you have. Your yeses and your nos get riskier, your problems get weightier, your decisions get weightier. Things don't get easier. Like, the margin is fantastic. I've traveled the world. I've been able to do some really cool things. I love that. I'm proud of what I have accomplished, but we have to keep the center straight. That's what's going to lead to sustainable success. And that's what I'm so proud of this team for modeling, is the kind of character that keeps things on the rails. Yeah. And the kind of character that as you grow and as you're looked to as the answer, can stay humble. Like, in every one of those places that I was winning awards, I had to learn, if I don't delegate this real quick, if I don't pass the mic on this real quick, if I don't intentionally develop the leaders under me, if I don't stop being the solution, to everyone all the time, because when you're number one, you're doing it best. Everyone wants your opinion. Well, if you're always answering the questions, like Stefan Brennis, if he's the only one that's answering production questions, then guess what Stefan Brennis will do for the rest of his career? He'll answer production questions. And at a point, that caps him as a leader. And it doesn't actually develop anyone better. It's another reason why I love this, because Sean Kim has produced more than me. Stefan's probably produced more than me. I think Bo Hirschfield's produced more than me. You guys know Tony Capistrano, he produced more than me. That's freaking amazing that on my team, there are that many producers who have outproduced me. That's what you want. So you can't be insecure as a leader, because you end up fighting for the limelight or the microphone or the stage time that whoever was above you or below you really needs in that moment. The very best thing that we can see happen is fresh leadership. The very best thing that we can see happen is people beating us, is people rising above us, because guess what? That is exactly the thing that creates that culture that is going to be always shifting, always growing. It's a growth culture, right? And so it's critical. But if we're insecure, if we haven't done that work, if the character isn't formed, then a lack of light on us represents some sort of demotion or failure, right? So we've got to get those things straight. Here's one thing that I would say is one of the larger lessons that I have learned for moving quickly in this business, and it's actually going to apply to almost every decision that you will make if you really stop and think about it. You guys ready? So consider this. I think one of the first and repetitive things that you need to do is you need to decide. If you'll just remember that word, decide. What do I need to decide? I need to decide who I want to become. This is like the becoming era, right? We're human beings and we're all becoming, we're on our journey, and that's a beautiful sounding thing, and it's true. It will either be intentional or it will be accidental. And it will happen. As long as we keep living like I'm 45, I'm going to be 55, then I'm going to be 65, then I'm going to be 75. I will keep becoming. It's really called aging. Like I will keep becoming until the Lord takes me home, whether I think about it or not. That's a really awesome thing, and it's a terrifying thing. Because how much attention are you putting towards that versus the growth of your team right now? How often do you actually stop and go and calculate and measure? How have I grown in this area? How am I doing in patience? How am I doing in kindness? How am I doing in curiosity? How am I doing in humility? How am I doing in gentleness? How am I doing in self-control? How is my resilience? Like, do we even think about these things? Or are we so focused on the next metric, the next leaderboard, the next contract level, the next level of leadership that we're completely upending it? Because you realize if what you focus on is your character, who doesn't want to follow someone that's diligent, that's faithful, that's kind, that's humble, that endures, that is so resilient that you don't even see them get down, that chooses positivity, that's always focused on other people, that's a lifter in the room. Like if you focus on those things, what's going to happen to your team? And if you don't focus on those things, and you chase the levels, and you chase the contract numbers, and you chase the dollars, you will still become. Your character is still forming. You just let it all happen for you. That's terrifying, because now you're in a place of influence. Now you're in a place of leadership. Maybe now you're on stage and you've got 15 minutes to speak to 4,000 human beings, and those recordings are going to live on. Do you have anything to say that's worth hearing? Or is it about levels of leadership? And is it about where you were, which has nothing to do with anybody's future? And is it about anything that matters? Because the stuff that matters won't happen by accident. And the stuff that matters is what keeps you where you are. And I think it probably would, it seems like the long way around until it's not. It actually gets you there faster. How do I know that? Well, let's say I am pushing for agency owner and I'm really having a difficult time understanding how to rally my team around this goal. If I have decided the kind of leader I want to become, there are certain things that are not an option. I don't go to my teammates and tell them what I need and tell them what part I need them to play to serve me. Why? Because I've already decided that I'm going to be a leader that is set on serving other people. So my framework is different. You guys see that? How it's takes that off the table. I've already decided I'm not going to do anything that breaches integrity. I'm not going to buy my promotion by trying to get apps in that don't really count and trying to get people to write that aren't really agents. Why? Well, number one, if that's what I have to do to get something, that's what I have to do to keep something. And it's not in alignment. I want to walk above board. I want to be proud of how I got there. I want to operate with absolute integrity. And so, guys, a lot of things fall off the table the second you decide what's on the table. So, maybe also you've decided family is the most important thing to me. It doesn't mean that I use my family as an excuse, but there are these two things every week that I won't compromise on. Well, when you're running for a promotion is when you really figure out if you meant that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying draw boundaries where they don't need to be. I'm all for you guys. I was a dual athlete in college. I am competitive, but I have learned you don't sacrifice what's real for what's temporal and think you're winning. Don't head fake yourself like that, because there are certain things that you don't take back. There are certain things that you don't repeat. There are certain things that are narratives that you will actually ingrain in yourself, and you will tell other people around you, because it really doesn't matter what you're teaching if your behavior doesn't line up with that. And that's something that, quite frankly, we all have to check ourselves daily, because all integrity is that it's if this is the straight and narrow, this is everything that we're committed to being, none of us live here all the time. We're going to fly off accidentally. We're going to snap at a child. We're going to have a bad attitude about something. And so there's this gap between what we're committed to and where we live. And how wide that gap is, I think, is going to be the leak of our influence. This is the strength of it. And however big that is our potential for failure and our potential to lose every bit of influence that we have. with our spouse, with our children, with our friends, with our team, with our leaders, with the folks looking to us, like across the board. The wider that gap is, the larger we are at risk. And I think the biggest risk is for me anyway, is me arriving at the end of my days, whenever that is, and knowing that there were things in me that were supposed to be left here. And I didn't take the time to either cultivate it or figure it out or choose to deposit it because it felt uncomfortable. Choose to say it because I was afraid of what someone else would say, right? Like, as long as it's within the bounds of character, we got to stop living so afraid. We have to start leading us if we're going to lead people. And that's a big, big part of it. It's choosing to really show up. Look, this organization does not need another leader like me. Doesn't need another leader like Frank. Doesn't need another leader like Sean. What this organization needs is the leader that you are. And so there is something to modeling. There's a lot to modeling. And there's something to learning from people that are underneath you in a hierarchy and beyond you and beside you in a hierarchy. But there is also something to you actually grabbing hold of you and disallowing your emotions and your feelings about things, because those are just like bad peers. Like, I am a very emotional person. And for too many years of my life, my emotions dictated my decisions. Emotions are really great informants. They're terrible drivers. Like, there's something to be looked at and to be weighed and to be considered. They are not to take the steering wheel or the gas pedal. Like that is for you to make wise decisions with counsel and move in the direction that you need to move. But we also have to let go of I think we think peer pressure doesn't really affect us after we're out of grade school or middle school. Hell yeah, it does. Like, you think about how many things you do every single day so that you don't upset somebody or to please somebody, brown nose in your own sort of way, or even to play the part, to make sure that it sounds like or it looks like. Have you ever stopped to think, like, what is actually in alignment with me? Now, what I'm not saying, I'm not talking about the system. So if the system says X appointments equal X, so this is work it, right? Or on the recruiting side of things, the building side of things. But what I am saying is, when you show up to an appointment, you need to follow the skeleton of a script. You also need to fully show up as you. That's what Stefan does. That's why he sells how he does. I'm not Stefan. I sold a lot differently. Same skeleton, differently. Because I can't be a parrot and think I'm going to have influence. And influence over who? Influence over the client. Because I am trying to make sure that when I leave that conversation, things are different. That's what impact is. When I encounter something, it looks different because it knocked up against me. Leadership is the same way. So if you don't know who you are, then how the heck are you supposed to actually imprint somebody so that they look different? Their life looks different. Their business looks different when you walk away. That's what impact means. It's not just sprinkling fairy dust and saying good one-liners. It's does your life actually, is it strong enough? Is it substantive enough? Is there enough weight there behind what you're doing and what you're saying to actually make an impact first? And two, like when you do walk away, what do they look like? And is it better? Because you might have told them what they needed to hear, and you might have. But if you didn't do it in a spirit of humility and gentleness and forness, then they don't look better. They look better, and you only confirmed their narratives, and now they don't want to receive coaching from you again. That's not a positive impact, even though it was the truth. Right? So we have to really start evaluating, I think, the inside of us at a much more diligent level. And I think you guys will be so brilliantly surprised. Seems like too weak of a word. I don't think that you will recognize the impact or the speed at which you have an impact on your whole life, not just your business. But if you start actually approaching your life like this, if you start weighing your own character, and if you really, gosh, leaders, for you guys, if before you coach anyone else in your organization at the start of a week, if you really spend some time coaching you, like take an inventory of your own character, take an inventory of the things that you're purposeful and you're intentional and growing in right now, and see how you did last week, and see how many apologies you need to go ask for, and see how many things you need to do better, and go do those things before you coach anyone else. Lead you. Don't be a hypocrite. Lead you. And then see what happens. Interestingly, Sean mentioned that he and I and Amanda, we had the coolest talk in Tamarindo a couple weeks ago. One, it was in Tamarindo. Also, they're just incredible human beings. You know how that started? With me apologizing to them. And that was just a totally off subject, just something that had been on my heart. They hadn't asked for it. They weren't upset. Like nothing was going on, but just a place that I felt like, you know what, as a leader, I could have done better here. That's how that conversation started. Turned into a really beautiful conversation that meant a lot to me. I hope it meant a lot to them. But what I want you to know is that this is what I do. This is an active practice in my life, because I have just found it. Number one, it only gets harder to be the right person that the higher you go. And I don't know about you, but I personally, whether it's in religious spaces or family spaces or mentor spaces, I have been hurt by people in positions that were leading me in some way, shape, or form. And I have seen a lot of other people hurt that same way. I'm sure we all have. Could be in business, could be in churches, could be in friend groups, really doesn't matter. But the point is, we know what it feels like when someone who carries this place of prestige or honor or mentorship, when that person isn't perfect, it does a lot of damage. It can. So for me, the way that I look at my role, and comparatively, it's a really small pond, but whatever influence I have, the way I look at it is, that's not for me to have place. It actually is now on me as responsibility, because there's that many more people looking at me for one thing or another. And so what I do and what I don't do really matters. And quite frankly, I don't get the right to act how I want. I don't have the right to show up at conference with whatever attitude I feel like having. I hurt a lot of people if I do that. Right? And so steward that now Steward what you have now. Well, what do you have? I don't know. That's for you to answer. You have your past, you have your friend groups, you have your community, you have your interests, you have your passions, you have your skill set, you have whatever success you have had, you have your place here. It does not matter how large or how small. What matters is, what do you do with what you have? And so if you will decide, and then you will day by day, moment by moment, do what you know, and you will know what to do. Like that's the second D, and I'm going to end with this. So first was decide, second is do, and this is a real short one, because once you've decided, then all you do all throughout the day is you are that person. If you don't know how to set your schedule for the week, what did you decide you were becoming? You were going to be a person of follow through. Okay. So what did you say you would do? 20 appointments? Well, there you go. There's no question then. And then you do the next thing. You have a couple bad calls, they don't go right, you're feeling discouraged, whatever the case may be. You feel like going to the fridge, not sitting back down and doing more appointment setting. Well, what did you decide? I decided to be a person of endurance. I decided to be a person of faithfulness. I decided to be a person of follow through. Okay, so there's no question on the table, because I already decided what I would do before I got to the point I had to decide what to do. Then you have a conflict resolution call, and you've heard one side, and you're feeling some kind of way about this, and then you get on a call and you realize, like, shoot, what did I decide I would do in these situations? I don't take sides. My job, what I decided is, my job is to facilitate unity and peace. So that means that I don't have one-off conversations, and I have to apologize for the fact that I did have a one-off conversation with the one that I did, and I have to bring both parties together then, and I have to facilitate talking it through in a way that leads to health, if I can, right? Because I already decided the kind of leader I was going to be. I wasn't going to be a divisive leader. I wasn't going to foster that, because it made me look good and feel good with pockets of relationships throughout my team. So everything in the business becomes so much faster and clearer when you have decided who you are going to become. Then all you do is you show up every day and you do what you decided. Do what you know, and you'll know what to do. All right. I'm going to land the plane. I got to run. I know we're a little over time, but thank you, Sean, Amanda, for having me on today, and hopefully be on with you again.
Thank you for being so real and giving us so much to think about. We just appreciate having you.
Yeah, really appreciate you. Yeah, and I wanted to, I know you said you gotta hop off. I wanted to see if there's anybody, maybe ask you a question, Ashley. You gave us some amazing nuggets. Anybody with questions to Ashley?
Yeah, but I would have like 90 seconds.
Yeah, nothing? Okay.
We appreciate you, Ashley. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. It's Stefan.
Yeah.
Awesome. You're the best.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley,
right.
for the amazing wisdom. And yeah. All right, guys, thanks for being on the call. Don't forget, next week we have an exciting guest, Joe Martinez. So don't forget about that, okay? All right, have a wonderful week. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.